Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Gabriel Kazan, and I am the author of the best-selling book for men, Alive on Purpose, and my focus is on marriage and relationship mastery for men. So today I'm talking about a theme related to men's health that is specifically about this systemic sedation of men and the problem of lower testosterone levels and what to do about it. This is more of a solo podcast because I wanted to just share some of my own experience with this theme of sedation. But when I lay that out, that term, the sedation of men, and what Robert Bly in Iron John used to call soft male syndrome. And even when he was writing back in the late 80s, early 90s, he identified this pattern in our society of men becoming soft and stepping back away from their purpose, away from sticking their neck out, away from taking a stand, and essentially away from leading. And that's been my position as I go further and further down this path as a facilitator and transformational leader in men's spaces. Basically, the world as we know it is in collapse because men have failed to lead. And that is part of the mission that I'm on, is awakening and activating men's latent leadership capacities. And I wanted to share today some of the most exciting things that I see happening in the space of transformational leadership. Maybe you've heard me talk about this book before, but I highly recommend it. 10x is easier than 2x by Ben Hardy, and it just really lays out this idea that in a nutshell, in a parable, most men looking for growth in a 2x paradigm are trying to get double the results and grow, maybe grow their business, grow their impact, create more time freedom, make more money, whatever the goal is. If it's a 2x thinking, it's actually harder to achieve than if you aim for something big, like 10 times the result. If you think of 10 times the result, it seems almost mind-boggling. But the truth is, in order to achieve a 10x result, you need to think differently, and you need to focus on some key leadership principles that are going to activate different outcomes. And ultimately, if you're hustling harder trying to get twice the results, you're trapped in an ego trap, basically, of thinking that you just need to hustle harder, and then thereby spinning your wheels and really losing the possibility of making greater impact. And what I love about this concept of 10x easier than 2x is that it's partly organizational. Ben Hardy is an organizational psychologist, so he talks about leadership in the context of running a team or managing a company. But if you look at leadership principles and the 80-20 principle of how the 20% in any individual or organization is actually influencing the 80%, which is the drag, which is the execution. The 20% is the decision making. It is where the most leadership happens, basically, in the 20%. So part of the concept of 10xing is to look at how you use your time and all the tasks that you approach, and instead of doing all the crazy work and sitting at all the seats and wearing all the hats, just zeroing in on the 20% that is your unique ability, that is your unique calling, or your unique genius. And when you're in that mode of just doing the thing that is, your flow state, the thing that is your zone of genius. In Gay Hendricks' words from his book, The Big Leap, he calls it the zone of genius. And then letting go of the other by actually outsourcing it, letting the other 80% of what needs to happen be executed by team, and basically delegating. Then what happens is you get a different possibility, because you're pulling on the lever of leadership, and you're focusing in on what is going to be most productive. I feel like part of the instinctual design of us as men is that we're designed to produce. We're designed to be productive. And the other thing about the 10X philosophy is that they recognize that we're not all massively productive all the time. Ideally, you want to have high production days, and then you want to have days of rest. So in order to achieve that peak flow state of productivity and execution, you also need to have buffer days where you're relaxing, where you're doing nothing and integrating, or not doing nothing, maybe doing relaxing activities that are not work related, but have a roundabout effect of increasing the quality of your production, because you are out there playing, whatever it is you do for play, whether it's with your kids or with your loved ones, or being in nature, playing sports, playing music, whatever it is, to round out that picture of a whole self. So this is just one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and today's episode is very much really just a flow state of me wanting to share some exciting things. The other one is this idea of systemic sedation and where it comes from. I think it's been underway a long time, and there's many levels to it. If you look at what has been coming at men and boys in the society at large as messages, what you see is patterns of a lot of mixed messaging and a lot of confusion, a lot of confusing messages. And the real forces, I think Chris Williams said on his Modern Wisdom podcast recently, he identified 3 major forces in the sedation of men, and one is porn, one is social media, and one is video gaming. And all 3 of those bring men out of our instinctual bodies and out of our nature, our instinctual nature, and into a screen interface. And I recognize the paradox of having a critique of screen interface while delivering this message through YouTube. But I'm sending this message anyway, that in order to break the spell of the sedation, there are several levels that I coach men on. One is the body and the physical body and your fitness, because ultimately this is all you have. And in my training as a somatic therapist, the body is also the unconscious. So if there's some issues coming through your tissues in the form of illness, injury, pain, or stagnation, then the remedy is movement. The remedy is fitness. The remedy is building strength. Our bodies are primarily designed to be used, and the modern world is set up to make us more and more passive all the time. So the let's call it the attack on males, has come at men on multiple levels. And one of them is chemically. And the chemical attack is in atrazine and other chemical influences in our environments that affect hormone levels. And if you want to look up atrazine and the effect of this chemical on frogs, what it did was they put atrazine in the water and it actually turned male frogs into female frogs. And atrazine has been in our environment in a variety of ways for decades. And so this is having an effect. That's the one example of a chemical environmental factor that is creating the conditions that are softening men, keeping men out of our primal ambition, primal drive, primal leadership and aggressive qualities that create the ability to rise up and to face uncertainty and to create and to face an uncertain world and create new possibilities. So that's the chemical level, and the other level is the psychic level and the messaging that's been coming at men through mainstream media for generations now that has shown us over and over again to be dimwits, to be Homer Simpson type characters who are useless idiots. In the old world, an idiot was referred to as someone who was unable to look after themselves. That's what the old world meaning of the word idiot is. Anyway, so I use that word on purpose, and it almost seems like today we are encouraged to be idiots because that's what we're shown, and it's reinforced in our entertainment. If you want a eye-opening view of mind control and media, you should follow Jason Christoff because he's an incredible expert on media and mind control and how the subtle storytelling mechanisms in entertainment actually amount to brainwashing ultimately. So these are a couple of the ways that I wanted to just highlight. And on a chemical level, testosterone naturally puts a man into his capacity to take risks, his capacity to lead and take courageous action and use his creativity. And that's a big part of my work. So because of that, I actually partnered with a natural herbal company called Lost Empire Herbs, and I will link their information in the comments below if you would like to order some herbs and try out an herb that I've been using for the past year that my jiu-jitsu coach turned me on to, called Tongkat Ali. And Tonga Ali is an Asian herb that is a natural boost testosterone, optimizing the free testosterone in the body to recover that state of vitality, that masculine leadership and vitality. And it's the most bitter thing you'll ever taste. I tried it. I put it as a powder right on my tongue, and I gagged. But if you use just a tiny amount, and all you need is a tiny amount, you can put it in your coffee and then add extra sweetener, and it's you can take it anyway. But that's how I take it. Almost out of time for today, so I'm going to leave it at this. But thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. And please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm planning another episode coming up in this series on marriage mastery for men, on the 9 obstacles to marriage mastery for men. So stay tuned for that. Thanks again. Big love. Bye for now.